Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be learning loops and we're continuing with Python. First, let's talk about a loop. It, from the name, it's basically it will keep going and going until stopped. So let's get started. For loop. Uh, for loop starts, how we state it is for the name of the loop in range and then parentheses 3 and then a colon. This 3, this 4, it's from the name. Load the name. This thing is the name of the loop. So yeah, it can be called in, in range. From the name, it can be in range 3. 3 is how many times it'll be loaded, then colon. So we're gonna print loading. So this app will basically be about, it will load. Yeah, it's a loading app. Yeah. So then we print loading. So let's go. So we don't, so we, by the way, there's a shortcut. You can click Control Shift R to run. Uh, so here it is, loading 3 times. Now, let's say we want to, we want to know when the loading is complete. This is where these codes come in. Finish, that is a variable. So how we break it, how we stop a loop from keep continuing is this. For loop in range 3. Finish is if it finish and loads. If finish is false, let's just set it to false. Okay. If finish is true, which is not true because I just put it at false, it will print loaded. I mean, first it will print loading, then it will say if finish equal true, which is not true, obviously. It will print loaded, and then it will break the loop. But then if it's not true, it will go again and again. And if it goes 3 times, it comes to the else. And else print load. So let's say false. Loading, 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 can't load. Now let's set this to true. Loading, loaded. That's easy. Okay. Now, let's start with a nested loop. A nested loop is a loop inside of a loop, basically. For x in range 1, 11, 1, for y in range 1, 11, 1, print x times y and equals the, yeah. This part is basically for same line. Yeah, so don't ignore that. I will teach you later. For x in range, we just learned that. But this one has multiple arguments. So in multiple arguments, it will say 1, it will print 1 to 11 by adding 1. If you understand that, it's like math. It's like an x and y thing. If it's y to 1 to 11, and the y equals x plus 1, basically, that's the math. And then here is for y in range 1, 11, 1, the same thing. So what we're making here today is the multiplication table. For example, this thing is going to go to 1 is basically 0 in Python. Yeah. So 1, 0 to 11 minus 1 because 1 is 0 to that means to 10. So same thing here. Then we print x times y because x is the amount of x. Like x is the number and then y is another number. And then when they multiply, you get this. Wait, not this. This. When you multiply x times y, you get this beautiful multiplication table. And how I did this straight lines are, now we'll discuss that. Int x times y, that's normal. Then we put a colon and then end equals string blank. This is for a straight line. And why I put another print is it's not a bug. It's for a new line like this. But because if I would remove this, yeah, it just gets an error. Yeah, that's the problem. But if I don't remove this, it will wait. But if I don't remove it, it won't. Oh wait, look, there's an error over here. I'll just remove this so it's not bugged. And yes, like that. Now, let's go to while loops. And yes, while and for loops are very different. For loops, you're in while loops, first let's just learn a while loop. Number equals 3. We're setting a variable to 3. While number is equal to number equal 3, which means while the variable number is equal to number equal 3, which means when the number is equal to 3, then it will say first float input first. Yeah, this is a basic calculator that will repeat all the time because it won't just go one time. So if we run it, let's say first number, let's just put a random number and then it will give us the number. And it will keep going until it's told to stop. I mean, that was an error because I put that thing, but it will keep going usually. Like, uh, yeah, it'll keep going. But if you want to stop it, we can do this other thing. Then we can do number equals number plus 1. We add 1 to the number, so then it'll stop. So we do this, and it won't do any, and it stopped because now it is not equal to 3, it's equal to 4. So that's the thing. So the difference between while loop and for loop is in a while loop, you're giving the condition, as in the condition over here is number equals 3. But in for loop, you're given the range, and the range here is 3. So yeah, that's all about loops. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe. Go check my main channel. And yeah, bye.